Pride Month is here, and what better celebration than another reimagining of the gay demon show? Let's take a look at Asmodeus. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Speculative Wildlife Research Center. Asmodeus, aka Ozzie from Helluva Boss, is all about relationships, being the demon embodying lust and everything. And his avian motif gives us a chance to talk about how birds can have same-sex relationships, so it should be fun to reimagine in our Spec Evo style. Please consider liking and subscribing if you like this video, and if at all possible, please stay until the end for a message about our sponsor, Doomlings. And now, without further ado, let's get started. Funny how, every time something is called unnatural, nature itself is already one step ahead. As we will see later today, one example of this is the bird known as the Asmodeus. Myogallus speciosa, more commonly known in modern times by the name of the greater Ozzie, belongs to family Phasianidae, and are most closely related to the genus Gallus, which contains chickens. They inhabit the Goetia region, same as the Stolas and other large species of bird. One of the most striking and distinguishing traits seen in this species is their comb, which is much more developed in males compared to those of most close species. As opposed to the rather simple comb and wattles of domestic chicken, the flesh growths of these birds cover almost the entirety of their face, forming two large protrusions at the sides of its head. These protrusions are hollow, and each forms a large resonance chamber that amplifies the Asmodeus calls, and releases them through the sides of its head, creating the impression of many voices coming from a single individual. As these calls are used to broadcast the male's size and strength, simultaneously helping attract mates and delimit their territory, the resonating chambers became an incredibly valuable trait, and these chambers became more complex with each generation. Notably, these resonance chambers resemble two extra faces, one on each side of the bird's own, which likely helps dissuade smaller predators by giving the impression that the Asmodeus is looking at them and they have lost the element of surprise. This astonishing adaptation, however, is also aided by a much more common type of display, the Asmodeus's plumage, which is tied both to the resonance chamber's territorial and defensive functions. While most of this bird's plumage is composed of dull gray and red feathers, in between these grow a series of bright blue feathers that can be exposed at will during courtship or as part of threatening displays against rivals from their same species or against potential predators. The males will stand tall and puff up their feathers as they do so in order to appear much larger, and the brightness and color of their feathers will attest to their good health and strength, as in order to properly develop them, they must have had access to a lot of nutrients as they grew. Of course, being used for such a purpose, these feathers will develop as the individual reaches sexual maturity. The strongest males will have the most impressive plumage, which they will display almost constantly during mating season, as they patrol their territory. These very showy feathers, however, run the risk of attracting predators to the area. While smaller animals may be intimidated by these displays, larger predators may not be dissuaded as easily, and so the Asmodeus has had to develop other methods to defend itself. First, male Asmodeus will hide these feathers upon detecting a predator, making themselves look smaller and less visible in order to more easily blend in with the vegetation. If this does not work, they will then depend on a last line of defense, one which is closely tied to their diet. While most animals would avoid the colorful exoskeletons of poisonous insects, intended to deter predation by warning of the toxins in their body, the Asmodeus will actively seek and feed on these insects. This is possible because this bird has developed an immunity to most toxins found in insects, with special proteins that sequester these before they can harm the bird. Toxins will be stored in a modified extension of the crop, and will be regurgitated at will when these birds groom their breast and wing feathers. It is here that the second part of this defense mechanism lies, as these areas grow specialized feathers, which resemble the downy feathers of hatchlings. These are very loosely attached to the bird's skin, and will immediately detach when these birds flap their wings, creating a fine mist of feathers, which will float freely through the air thanks to their light weight and structure. These feathers will be easily inhaled by any predators nearby, and being laced with toxins as they are, they will immediately intoxicate it, causing nausea and dizziness, as well as hallucinations at greater concentrations. While the predator is under the effects of these toxins, the Asmodeus will escape unharmed. Of course, the hallucinations caused by these birds would lead to medieval people linking them to, say it with me, demons. But in modern times, as more information about these birds was known, these same people would go from condemning these birds to trying to pretend they don't exist. See, despite males holding large territories to themselves and mating with the females found there, the courting habits of these birds are not as obvious as they may seem at first glance. While the animal we're seeing today is a male, it is not the only type of male seen in this species. Like many other animals, male Asmodeus present two different reproductive strategies, with the large ones seen here being the ones that hold the large territories, while the second type, smaller males with a less showy plumage, will be allowed to enter the male's territory at will. For the size and plumage of this second type of males will make them resemble the females of the species. Both types of male will freely mate with the females in said territory, as well as with each other, and the net decrease in competition will give both types of male an increased fitness. That said, sometimes the relationships between the males will be carried to a long term, and sometimes couples of males will be seen caring for the nest and co-parenting the hatchlings, as many bird species are known to do. In modern times, this fact has been brought to the attention of people over the internet, causing these birds to be very appreciated by the LGBTQ+ community. And that's it for Speculative Biology look into Asmodeus from Helluva Boss. This one was a really fun design to work out, since adapting the gaudy looks and outfits seen in the show has been a ton of fun, something we've seen both with this series and a couple superhero-based episodes. As mentioned at the beginning, Asmodeus has an avian motif, most specifically based on roosters, and the highly ornate appearance of these birds made adapting his suit rather easy. Plus, the extra faces Asmodeus has, which it shares with its medieval counterpart, were adapted into freaky looking growths that not only look like faces, but speak like them as well, a simple exaggeration of the ornaments roosters already have. And as seen in many animals, a trait being related to sexual selection will make it go in really weird directions very quick. So I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, and as always, here's a thank you to everyone who asked to see it on our channel. No connection to the actual demon this time, since it would have been too much of a mess to make any sense of it. But if you have asked to see that, thank you as well. And also, thank you to our researchers and research associates who support us through Patreon and YouTube memberships, and for suggesting and helping me work out this episode in our exclusive Discord server. Remember, you too can join in if you want to support our channel, and you get some nice perks too, like seeing all of our creatures and videos ahead of time and helping mold them into shape. Or you can also like, subscribe, or write a comment telling me any type of creature you would like me to give the Spec Evo treatment in the show, as any of those really help the channel a lot. And before we go, as promised at the beginning, I'd like to recommend you to check out Doomlings. This is a 2-to-6 player card game that simulates the evolution of a fictional world, where you play different traits for your species as the game conditions change across different eras, or game rounds, scoring you points until the world is destroyed and the game ends. I've been playing this game and I can tell you how fun it is, with the constant errors and catastrophes keeping you on the edge and changing how you play every round. So if you enjoy biology and evolution, use this link to go check out their wares. And you can use the code Speculative Wildlife as written here to get a 15% discount on checkout. 15%! You're pretty much losing money by not buying anything. So if you wanna play a fun game and support the channel, please consider giving it a look. Thank you all for watching. Happy Pride Month and see you next time on the Speculative Wildlife Research Center. Asmodeus, 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 Asmodeus. Oh, Asmodeus.